happening? It's Saz here. So it's that time of the week again, Friday Feels, where we talk about The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 6, The King, the Widow and Rick. Now again, as usual, before I go any further, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer! This video will have spoilers from the Walking Dead comic book series and of course the episode. So if you haven't seen the episode or you don't really want to know what's happening in the comics around about this time, then it's kind of not the video for you. Also, just another quick little thing, Doug has joined me again this week. So again, sorry if you hear the snoring, the blah blah blah. He's sitting right down here. So, are we all ready? You sure? Let's get straight into the episode. So this week's episode starts off with Rick. He's walking down the road and he picks up a note from a microwave, I believe. At first I thought it was a note that Dwight left, giving him more ideas. But then as we go on, we find out it's the note from the other guys. They explain how their part of the plan is going and what's been happening so far. Then we see the kingdom. Oh, everyone's putting flowers and sort of a memoriam for all the people that they lost in the kingdom. And then that's when Carol receives her note. Then Michonne and Carl are given their notes. And then Aaron gives Maggie her note, and along with baby Gracie. Then we hear Rick, Carol and Maggie explaining their parts of the plan and what's gone on. Rick still thinks that the plan should go ahead and he's on his way to the Scavengers. Then we see Jadis doing some naked crafting. Okay, because that's what you want to do in an apocalypse. That kind of took me aback a little bit. I was like, okay, why is this happening? But hey, I guess you don't want to mess up your clothes when you're doing crafting. Then it cuts to the saviours outside the hilltop. Jesus is going along the line giving them turnips. Then Maggie comes out and she's a bit taken aback by this, and she says to Jesus, you know, you shouldn't put this in this situation, you're giving away our food. She's kind of going into mum mode and as if telling Jesus off. Then we have the conversation between Maggie and Jesus. Maggie says that we need to end this and we need to end Negan. And Jesus said, yes, we do, but when we do, we have to make sure that what's left is worth what we lost. She's undecided at this point and she understands where Jesus is coming from, but ultimately she wants to do the right thing as well. Then it cuts to the doors opening at the Scavengers place, and it is Rick. He's been brought in, and again Rick wants a deal with them. And finally we get to know that the Polaroids that Rick were taking were for the Scavengers, as we thought, and he shows all the Scavengers that, look, Negan's losing, the sanctuary's surrounded, come on our side, we've got a better deal now and we will win. Then it's back to Maggie and Gregory at the hilltop. Gregory, I cannot express how much I hate Gregory. But we see Maggie and she's got Herschel's pocket watch. So it's kind of looking at the watch thinking, I want to live by my dad's rules and do the right thing, but you've got Gregory in your ear as well. So Gregory keeps on talking about, at the end of the day, you are the shepherd and you can't have wolves among the sheep. Then Gregory mentions it's okay to follow your gut. That's the only thing that Gregory said that is actually worth listening to. It's kind of helping towards Maggie making up her mind at this point. Then it cuts to Tara and Daryl. Daryl's waiting outside Tara's place. Tara says that she was looking for him and Daryl was looking for Tara. Tara says to Daryl that he was right not to kill Dwight. Try and say that fast. Right not to kill Dwight. But ultimately Tara is going to kill him and she wants it to be her. So then Daryl suggests, well, why can't it be you and me both? And we don't have to wait that long. No, Daryl, 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 Daryl. Think about this, dude. Please don't go and rush into anything. Then it cuts back to Michonne and Rosita, and Rosita asks Michonne, why did you need to come out here? And then Michonne goes on to say that she's just had sirens in her head ever since that they've been to the sanctuary. She just needs to go to the sanctuary to see it for herself, then she can turn off the sirens in her head and just go back. And Rosita understands that and she says, okay. Then all of a sudden we knew something was going to happen. They hear music. Don't know where it's coming from at this point. So Michonne says to stop the car and they go and look for where the music's coming from. They go through the woods and they find one of the saviour's caches. So of course they go to investigate, and to be fair, good job they did. Then it cuts to a walker who's impaled and he is desperately reaching for this plastic bag. And then we come and see a guy, wait a minute, come and kill the walker. So they clock eyes with each other and Carl says, look, I'm sorry, it was my dad. They were warning shots above your head. Didn't mean to shoot at you. And then he introduces himself. He says, I'm Carl. Then we finally get confirmation that it's Sadiq. Sadiq is from the comics. And we all thought it was him by the description, but then he confirmed it. Then Carl gives Sadiq some food and water. Then, like father, like son, Carl asks Sadiq 3 questions. So first question, how many walkers have you killed? Carl's like, you know, it doesn't have to be exact. Bam, 237, give or take a couple. And the second question, how many people have you killed? And Sadiq says 1. And the third question is why? And Sadiq just says the dead tried to kill him but didn't. Then Carl goes to ask Sadiq about the traps, and Sadiq mentions that his mum hoped that by killing the walkers it would release their souls, which I thought was quite sweet actually. So then Carl decides that he's going to bring Sadiq back to Alexandria. Then it cuts to Henry. Why? He's out in the woods, he's killing walkers, and then all of a sudden we hear a gunshot and it's Carol. At first Carol's annoyed. She says, I told you not to follow me. And then Carol says, do you know what happens to kids that go wandering in the woods? They're never to be seen again, and if they are, they're monsters. Which I thought was a great callback. Obviously Sophia, she ran off into the woods, but then when we did see her, she'd been bitten and turned. Then Henry's like, I'm not scared, I want to help fight. I've got to get the people that killed my brother. Carol doesn't like the fact that Henry wants to go and fight, but eventually she just says, you can't just be out here with that stick. Take this gun. Then it's back to the hilltop. Jesus is outside with the saviours, and Enid says to Jesus, Maggie says bring them in. So all this time while Jesus was talking to the saviour, he was looking sort of through the walls of the hilltop and see people sort of milling about. So then we find out that they were actually making a pen for the saviours. So Jesus brings them in 2 at a time in the pen, and Maggie says we're going to keep them here, we're going to feed them, we won't mistreat them, but we won't take anything less than full cooperation. Then Gregory calls Maggie every name under the sun apart from Maggie, and he says, Margaret, with all due respect, I'm straight shooting here, but we can't have people that we don't trust running around inside our walls. So then Maggie's obviously made up her mind, and she says, do you know what, you're right, I remember what you said. Then she goes on to say that she worked on a farm and she knows all about sheep and wolves. Then Cal and another member of the hilltop try to put Gregory in the pen. Gregory is fighting, he doesn't want to go in there. He said, I didn't do anything. But eventually Gregory does get pushed against one of the wooden posts and he does hit his head. For 2 seconds, 2 seconds, I did feel a bit sorry for Gregory. But then I realised what a dickbag he was and I thought, nope, I don't feel sorry for you anymore. Then as Gregory's been put in the pen, Jared, ooh, another one I hate. Jared does try to escape, but Maggie's like, no bitch, get back in your pen, and hits him over the head with the gun. To then Jared tries to style it out, you know, sort out the hair again, and he says to Maggie, oh honey, you're gonna get these people killed. Oh wait, you've already gotten some people killed, haven't you? To then Maggie hits him over the head with the gun again. Yes, Maggie, go on girl. Then, this is the bit I want to talk about a little bit more. Carl and Sadiq are going through the woods and they see, I think, 3 walkers. They're eating a deer. Nice callback to the deer. I see that. I see that. So they go to the walkers, start killing the walkers that were there, but then they didn't realise that other walkers wanted to join the party. So they do get a little bit surrounded by some walkers. Carl then falls over, lands on the deer, and he's fighting away the walkers. And there was one walker comes up on his right side, and I thought, did Carl get bit? I watched it again, and before Carl gets up, once they've killed all the walkers and everything's fine, Carl looks down to his right side. It could be that the fact he's just looking at the walker, that's what I'm hoping. But then he stands up and he looks down again. Now I know from the deer he's got blood in his shirt already, but he doesn't look too sure afterwards, because Sadiq asks him if he's okay, and he's just like, yeah. I don't like that. I could be totally making that up, but that concerned me a little bit. I don't want Carl to die because, again, spoilers, there has been rumours that Carl is going to die this season. I really hope not. I can't see why, but it would tie in with the whole thing of, you know, we went back to the Red Eye Rick scenario. Someone very close to Rick could die this season to kind of move his story on. There is rumours that Chandler Riggs is going to college. Well done, education. I don't know. People are making up theories. I'm hoping Carl hasn't been bitten, but anything can happen with the show. So I'm not totally sure, but let me know down in the comments, what do you think happened to Carl? Did he get bitten or not? Then it cuts to Michonne and Rosita. They're in the Saviour's cache and they hear two Saviours talking, and we find out that those Saviours were out scavenging when Rick attacked the sanctuary. So they've obviously seen the sanctuary, seen the walkers outside, so they've gone to the cache to get the speakers, wrap them around the car, and hopefully drive the walkers away. So then Michonne is slowly walking around all the shelves, and she doesn't realise that there's a tennis ball on the floor, and she kicks the tennis ball and it does roll out in front of the Saviours, which obviously alerts them, and they start shooting. Rosita is trying to run away and she does lose her gun. No! So then she's searching in the boxes and she finds a glue gun, I think, and she chucks it to try and make a distraction for the Saviours. Then as Michonne is walking around her side, she does meet up with the woman Saviour and they start having a fight. And bless, you can tell Michonne is still healing, her ribs still hurt and she can't really fight that well. And just when you think the guy is going to get away in the car, Rosita finds the best thing possible, a rocket launcher. And the Saviour just says, oh come on, you're not going to use that. Bam! Don't underestimate Rosita, she's badass. And she shoots the Saviour. Then when they hear the explosion of the rocket launcher, the woman Saviour does get away and she gets in the car, drives the car out of the cache, and just when we think, oh my god, they've got away, Daryl comes in and saves the day and swipes out the car and then kills the Saviour. So then Carol goes in to see Ezekiel. Oh, it was heartbreaking. Ezekiel's sitting by his chair holding Shiva's chain. And Ezekiel goes on to say, I played a part. I can't be what they need. So please, just leave me alone. Then Carol goes to leave, but then she does turn around and she asks Ezekiel, why did you keep on coming to see me? And Ezekiel says, it was my duty. I wanted to make sure that you were okay. Carol's not sure and she asks, why did you really come to see me? So then I thought this was so sweet. Ezekiel says, you just made me feel real, not a fiction. And then you can see Carol's got tears in her eyes. This is so sweet, I love this bit. And Carol says, you are real, to me. I love the way she said that. It was so sweet. And then Carol goes on to say, you know, you need to help them grieve and move on and end this. Then it cuts to Aaron, he's getting in his car. Enid comes out and says, where are you going? And Aaron says, to make sure we win. Then Enid says, let me come with you, you're right, we need a win. And Aaron thinks about this, he's not sure, but in the end he says, go and get your stuff. And some food, we might be gone for a while. What did you mean about that, Aaron? Where are you going? Why would you be gone for a while? Then it cuts to Daryl, Rosita, Michonne and Tara. And Daryl is showing Michonne and Rosita the sanctuary, the walkers have surrounded the place. Then Rosita asks, why do you need our help? And Daryl says to end this right now. Again, I think it's a bad idea, guys. Something's gonna go wrong. Michonne and Rosita aren't ready to fight yet. As I've said before, they're still healing. Daryl's just gone rogue and he's just gonna kill everyone and anything in his way. And I think Tara's just on mission to kill Dwight. That's all she sees at the moment. She wants Dwight dead. Then it cuts back to Jadis. Is she wearing Rick's boots? I didn't see that the first time around, but seeing it again, I was like, are those Rick's? Then she writes an A on the door of the container. Now I know when Daryl wore the A on the front of his shirt, it just meant arsehole. I don't know what that A means, it could mean the same thing. But then we see a little eye poking out in the container, and as we saw in the trailer, Rick is trapped naked by the looks of it. Now hey, I'm sorry, I'm not complaining about that, but maybe Jadis just wants Rick to do some crafting, you know, and don't want to get your clothes dirty, that's for sure. So that's all I have for today. It was kind of just highlights of the episode for me. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. If you did like this video, then please remember to give it a big thumbs up. That would really help me out a lot. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to find out when I do more of these videos. I shall see you Tuesday for my episode 7 reaction. So until then, check you later.